off the Portland bench follows the miss. Brisbilla's got it in a fresh 24. 6 points in better than 7.5 minutes for Portland. Duncan knocks it away. And it'll be San Antonio ball.
Well, we talked to Nate McMillan before the game, and they were down 18 points to the Memphis Grizzlies last night.
Yep.
They had 29 points in the first half with about 3 minutes to go. They went on a nice, decent run to get to 35, but he said we could not have been more awful than we were in the first half. I think we might have to show him this tape. He might disagree with that.
His quote last night was, "We got lucky." He felt they were very fortunate to win up in Memphis. And again, Portland is such a young team without a lot of guys who have been in the playoffs. You would think getting home court might mean more to them than it will to most other teams.
So they're just 17 and 21 on the road, and they play terrific basketball at home, 31-7.
They are headed to the postseason for the first time since 2003. The Blazers had the longest playoff drought until clinching a spot just a couple of days ago. Well, they are struggling for clean looks. They're 3 for 11 with 4 turnovers. Roy inside, and he's fouled by Gooden.
Well, that's what you have to do when you're struggling. You take the ball to the basket, put the onus on the official to make calls, draw some contact. At that time, Roy does a nice job of getting into the paint.
JB, they've gone 5.5 minutes since their last point.
Oof.
To the line for a couple for the Blazers as we check out the NBA calendar tomorrow on TNT. It'll be the 76ers taking on the Bulls, followed by Denver and the Lakers, the top 2 teams in the West right now. NBA TV Saturday has Detroit at Indiana, and then ABC on a Sunday with a doubleheader. It begins with Dallas at New Orleans, followed up by Boston and Cleveland. And every team we just mentioned still with something to play for heading into the last week of the regular season.
Oh, I'm anxious to see Denver go down to LA. Yeah. Denver, the number 2 seed in the West. A lot of people might not even know that. They've been terrific. Can they go down there and play with the LA Lakers? When you think about run and gun Denver Nuggets, that could be a ton of points scored in that game.
Step back jumper, Tony Parker.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do. Let Tony Parker take the jump shot. Don't allow him into your paint, but he is a much improved jump shooter. As Brandon Roy gets fouled, Chip England, assistant coach of the San Antonio Spurs, a terrific shooting coach. Worked for years with Steve Kerr, one of the best shooters we've ever seen in this league. Has done a great job with Tony Parker.
And Tony Parker off to another good start. 7 points, 3 for 4 from the floor. Roger Mason has knocked down a couple of threes, and really they've run up this big lead without any offense from Tim Duncan. He doesn't have a point yet tonight.
20 of the 22 points scored by their guards. But Parker, if he shoots the ball from distance consistently, there's really no way that you can guard him.
Parker gets a breather as Mason checks back in. For more on Tony Parker, let's go to Heather.
Well, you guys, we were talking about his increased confidence and his great shooting coach. A lot of that, he says, also comes with a change in technique. He changed the way he holds the ball, using his thumb more. He realized he used his thumb a lot to balance the ball with his highest percentage shot, that teardrop that we all love. He thought if it works that well on the teardrop, I should do it the same on my free throws and my jump shot. So now every shot looks the same. The result, a much higher field goal percentage, guys.
And on the season of Parker at 50% from the field. Mason, after a switch, has Oden, finds Duncan. Beautifully done.
Well, you mentioned in the open that Roger Mason starting at the 2. Now he slid over to the point guard situation because of the loss of Manu Ginobili. And that was a great drive and dish to Tim Duncan there by Roger Mason Jr.
Sergio Rodriguez in off the bench for Portland, but really right now Brandon Roy acting as the primary ball handler. Uses the Oden screen. Oden wasn't looking for the pass. Mason one-on-one with Roy, and Roy swats it away with the left hand.
Oh, my. Well, turnover on one end, and he certainly made up for it on the other. What a terrific block with the offhand. Look at Brandon Roy send this one into the 5th row. But Portland's struggling here early. Spurs with a 12-point lead.
is your NBA destination. It'll be the New York Knicks taking on Dwight Howard and the Orlando Magic at 8 Eastern. And then ABC is your NBA destination on Sunday. Action begins at 1 Eastern. Dirk Nowitzki and the Mavs. Chris Paul and the Hornets at 3:30 NBA countdown. And remember, still up for grabs, the best record in the NBA in the finals.
Big game. I think it's imperative that the Cleveland Cavaliers have the home court advantage throughout the playoffs.
Lakers beat the Cavs both times during the regular season, so they hold the tiebreaker. Foul on Kurt